file this one under things that are a little bit weird. Like, I don't necessarily get this or understand the thought process behind this, or possibly, one of those situations where things are kind of just how they are and there's no real way to kind of go about that. But anyway, I thought that this was interesting for Xbox, because a lot of Xbox fans are talking about this. For me personally, anyway, I like physical video games. I like the idea of buying a physical disc. I also like the idea of how easy it is to use, like, digital stuff, right? Like, I have a lot of digital stuff, I have a lot of physical stuff. Sometimes I'll get both. A lot of times it's easy to do the download of something digitally early, and then later on, when you come across the physical of that same game, I like to buy it so that I have both. So that could be costly. Obviously, that's not a solution for everyone. I'm not trying to give everybody a solution for this stuff, but it does make sense. But this was very interesting because Baldur's Gate, one of the biggest best-selling games and best-received games of recent memory, confirms that the Xbox retail version, physical version, will have 4 discs because the RPG was 500 megabytes too big to fit on 3 discs, but it didn't make sense to cut any content. Larian wasn't lying when they said the deluxe edition includes a F-ton of discs. Baldur's Gate 3 is a big RPG, so big in fact that the physical version has to be spread across 4 discs on Xbox. Back in November, Larian announced the deluxe editions of its phenomenally popular RPG Baldur's Gate 3, which since launch has been available through digital storefronts only. The promotional images for the version show that the Xbox version comes with 3 discs, but it turns out that it has to be upped to 4 as the game got too big to squeeze onto 3 measly discs. So yeah, there is that. Addressing speculation that the discount has been increased, Larian Director of Publishing Michael Deuce has tweeted that, I quote, "The Xbox retail version of Baldur's Gate 3 will need to have 4 discs, since we were 500 megabytes over the limit for 3 discs." Now, according to Dose, another solution would have been to remove content, but Larian wasn't keen on sacrificing any of its D&D adventure just to make it on fewer discs. The only option would have been to cut some content out, but it didn't make sense, he said. The deluxe edition will be released in waves, with the first wave expected to ship shortly. In another tweet, Deuce says that shipping dates may be slightly affected by the change. It's probable the Wave 1 March 25th date will slip to first week of April because of this, he says. He said, "We'll be shipping each SKU in order of readiness." He also adds, confirming that the PC version, which doesn't have a disc, will be first, as well as the game itself. The deluxe edition contains a selection of other physical goodies, including a cloth world map, a poster, fabric patches, stickers, and in case you need more discs, a soundtrack CD collection, all crammed into a really nice looking display box. All the digital bonuses from Baldur's Gate 3 Digital Edition are also included. Wave 1 are currently sold out, but you can secure your copy of Wave 2, which is set up to ship between April and June on Larian's website. So I'm going to link this and you guys can check it out. As far as like physical stuff looks, I think it looks really good, obviously. So I think there is that. Like this setup looks incredible, to be quite honest with you. And, even though Baldur's Gate isn't my type of game, I am glad to see that they're doing the discs and stuff, the physical version on Xbox. That's going to become a more rare and interesting thing to see how, so I guess we'll see what happens in the future or whatever. But, again, everything changes, and it is just nice to see that Microsoft get some of these games out that are going to be physical, that are on the edition. The interesting thing is that it ships on less discs on PlayStation. I don't know. Obviously, Xbox has a kind of a mix of good and bad sort of news almost on a daily basis. I try to make sure that, it's not all like terrible, because I know like people get tired of that or whatever. But, to be honest with you, and when you look at this and when you kind of see kind of what's going on, you kind of just shake your head a bit, and that would be something that would be kind of devastating for the industry. It's like, I feel like Xbox hurts themselves a lot. They end up putting they really have no presence, in my opinion, anywhere, to be honest with you. If you go into like a retail store, go to like a GameStop or even a Walmart or whatever, there's hardly any Xbox presence. There's no physical games there. There's, it's just really, Xbox has no presence, and it's just sort of a weird situation from, back in the heyday of, when Xbox used to be so great. And, it's sad to see that kind of, the way that it is, and it doesn't look like we're going to be getting physical releases from them on the regular. It's like, Hellblade 2 won't have a physical release. I think Deathloop didn't get a physical release on, or maybe it did get one on Xbox, but Ghostwire Tokyo didn't. So I think we're sort of coming to that end where there's not going to be the physical releases, and that's really a shame. I know a lot of people are like, oh, who cares or whatever, but for me, I think, and for a lot of people, you really cut off, even if there's just, a smaller percentage, it's still probably millions of people who buy physical media. So when you see stuff like that come up, it's really a shame, but I do hope that Microsoft, kind of can recover from this. I think once you have that point where you go, okay, well, we're not going to be doing, we're not going to do games, or we're not going to do this, or we're not going to do that, physical stuff anymore. Like, you can't really go back on that. If you launch a console generation without a disc drive, I mean, how do you fix that? So again, even though Phil Spencer says one thing, I still tend to lean into the other, where I believe we sort of see this situation where things aren't always as cut and dry as they should be. It's like, I always think that it should be an option. Like, I'm not the biggest PlayStation guy, but their PlayStation 5 Slim is probably the best option I've seen, because the console looks the same with or without the drive in there, but it's up to you whether you want it or not, right? Like, give the fans that want one the opportunity to get one, and I think that's what we need to see, most of all. I don't want to see Xbox go away or Xbox dying, and it does look like, a lot of the media and stuff like that is really kind of hyping the death of, of kind of what's going on. So, again, this is one of those things where Microsoft can make things a little bit easier on themselves and the fans, if they would just kind of pay attention. So hopefully they do that. I want to see them thrive. Gaming needs to thrive. Gaming needs to have competitors and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully we continue to see stuff like that happen before too long. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about this, some of this ridiculousness. Thanks for watching. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.